Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is our weekly Wednesday support call for those of you that are doing your perium transformations. And if you can come on camera, I would love that if you're able, because we also like to use these calls to really create community and support around what we're doing. Yeah, hello, hi. So to kick us off, does anyone want to share something exciting, anything that's been working for them? Well with their transformation, or maybe some healthier habits that they've adopted because of this lifestyle. I'd love to hear some wins, takeaways to kick us off. Feel free to just jump off mute.
Sure, I can share.
Yeah, thanks, Sandy.
Yeah, so I am on my third month of the transformation, and I guess some wins have been that I think my cravings are like non-existent right now, which is amazing. Um, so I have like RA, so I've been off my medications throughout like my transformation, so that's also been a huge win. And I never thought that I would like survive on a whole food plant-based like diet. I was like more paleo lifestyle when I came into it, and I haven't had meat throughout the transformation. So, or just like any animal products, which I think have has been like transformational throughout like the ULT. So that's a huge one as well.
Wow, congratulations, Sandy. And isn't it amazing when we start to clean up the body, how the cravings go away? And do you feel pretty sustained on the nutrition?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations, and way to stick with it for 3 months. That's like the benchmark. So that's awesome. Um, Anyone else want to share their voice, share a win, takeaway? Come on camera if you can.
I can share some wins. I have the broken leg thing going on, and I think I'm healing really fast by keeping up the superfoods. I think the hair, skin, and nails, the collagen pack is really serving me. Um, and I have two clients that are doing great. One's off of all of her antidepressants and doing really amazing with her anxiety and stuff like that. And another one reached out and she just saw some parasites that she passed and is doing really good too. So lots of wins.
Cool, Amy. I'm so glad to hear you're being supported through your healing process. And if you guys don't know Amy on this call, she's also one of the people that co-hosts this call, and she's supporting so many people on this lifestyle and really doing amazing work. So thank you, Amy. Cool. Anyone else? Share a win, a takeaway? I can share one from someone that just started the ULT last month with me. And she reached out to me a couple days ago and was like, Mary, this is the first time in my life where I'm actually sleeping. She came in from like a very high stress life, and her nervous system was just really taxed, her adrenals really taxed. And with almost like a month of consistency, she's starting to now realize that her nervous system is starting to unwind, and she's getting some of the best night's sleeps that she's had. And she can't even remember when. So that is really encouraging and exciting. So I thought I would share that about her story. And anyone else?
I can go.
First along. Go ahead. You go first, Kate.
Okay. Ever since I started taking the biomedic, I think that's reducing something in my gut. Maybe the I don't know, volume's going down, and I can see abs for the first time in my life, and I've never had them before. I've always tried to get them, and I think it has something to do with the biomedic. And I don't know if it's all four components doing it, because I'm taking the ULT with collagen, but that's really cool to me. So
Awesome, Gage. And yeah, I think it is like the synergy. Dave, when he created these programs, there is some synergy that he created with the aminos and the power shake and the rice bran and the biomedic. But I've definitely heard a lot of people that start the biomedic where they're like, oh, for the first time, I'm starting to lose that excess weight around my stomach that I could just never get rid of. And a lot of that is probably number one, the glyphosate toxicity that's been in there that's starting to release now, and also the decrease of inflammation that the biomedic helps with. So congrats. That's
Thank
exciting.
you. It's really nice.
Mhm. Michelle, did you want to share?
Sure. Like 40 something months in, different depths as I've been going, but just like life is really up right now. And I just love that I feel super supported. I can tell that the full moon is coming. Like last night, I just like laid here until like 3:30 in the morning, and I was like, okay. And then I, did some, breathing exercises, and I listened to some yoga nidra, and I fell asleep, and I woke up same time this morning, and it didn't feel like I only got 4 hours, or 3 hours, whatever it was. Like I still feel energized. I'm going great through my day. I just was sure to have a little, extra fruit this morning. Like I had an extra helping. I think that, fueling those cells with the fruit energy is definitely been supportive. But I was just thinking to myself today when I was looking in the mirror and I was brushing my teeth, I'm like, man, it doesn't even look like I didn't sleep. And like, I feel like I still slept 8 hours. And I just know that that's the power of like my body being in balance. I don't recommend not only like trying to run it on 3 hours with any kind of regularity, but it's just neat. It just seems like every week, every month that goes by, there's like a heightened sensitivity and connection deeper into myself and my body and what's going on. And I can physically see it showing up differently as opposed to people like, oh, you look good, or you look better, like I'm seeing it more and more in myself. I'm like, catch myself in the mirror. I'm like, oh my gosh, my eyes are so bright. Like, like it's just been super cool. So I feel like that's a really good win. And I'm tired. And it's the full moon. So I think I'll pop into a Parasite Flash.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing that, Michelle. And that's probably really inspiring for a lot of you on this call. Some of you, go ahead and drop a 1 if you're like just starting this journey, in your first 30 or 90 days. While Michelle, like she just said this, she's going on 40 weeks. And I've been in the raw living community for a while. And that's one of the common themes that I've heard over and over again is as we start fueling our bodies with more living foods, our bodies start to come back to homeostasis. We really do get in this state of regeneration where we almost feel like we're aging backwards, and we notice we have sustained energy for longer periods of time, even on lack of sleep or exercise, yada, yada. It's something that gets into our cellular energy, and our cells start functioning better so that we really do have more oxygen flowing through our body and more liveliness, even when we should be tired. So for those of you that are just starting, maybe that's some inspiration of what this lifestyle can lead to if you continue on it. So thank you. So
3.5 years, 40 months.
that's amazing. 40 months. Yeah, I think I said 40 weeks, 40 months. Incredible. All right, maybe we'll have 2 more shares, wins, and then we can jump into questions. I see there's a few more people that jumped on. So if anyone wants to come on camera and just share any wins or shout yourself out for anything, we'd love to hear your voice. Okay, well, we can dive back into that as well, but who wants to start with some questions about your ULT journey or any of the products, the Purium products that you're on? You can go ahead and just jump off mute and can start answering some questions for you.
I have a question for one of my friends who just signed onto the ULT. She is doing the core 4 since she's a nursing mom, and she got the dark berry collagen protein, but she's worried if she transitions into a more plant-based lifestyle that her milk supply will start like running out, or that she's not getting enough protein to produce enough milk. So what would like be a good recommendation, or any thoughts on that?
Yes, definitely. So I have 3 children, and I have gone through pregnancy and postpartum plant-based with all 3 of them. And I have very supple milk supply. So one of the things that I do is I actually take like 15 aminos a day, but I spread it out. So I take like, I kind of have them like I have a jar by my desk and I just kind of take like 3 here, 3 there, 3. So I spread it out so that I'm getting really good protein throughout the day. The barley grass juice, which is actually, and the kamut blend, which are both on sale right now. Those are amazing, especially barley grass juice for helping your body produce more milk. So that's one that I would encourage. And then, the other thing when you're on the core 4 is just eating when you need to. Like as a mom, you want to make sure you're getting enough calories. So just making, maybe she has like an extra half of an avocado in a sitting, or, puts a sweet potato on, or things like that. So you want to make sure she's not depriving herself calorically in any way, and just eating when she feels she needs to. And then sometimes that might include having an additional shake. I do like at least 2 power shakes a day. And sometimes I'll add, more carrot juice powder or more barley grass juice powder to that. So that would be my suggestion there. You can definitely do this lifestyle and have great results nursing that way. So is that helpful?
Yeah, that's really helpful. And also too with her, she does caffeine and like coffee, and she was wondering like if she could stay on the take coffee, or should she kind of minimize how many times a day she drinks, or is there an alternative that could be kind of compliant with like the detox or the lifestyle program?
Yeah. And how many months along did you say she was? Or
So she had her baby. Her baby, I believe, is like
okay.
her baby's like 6 months.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I would definitely recommend the Can't Beat This. For a lot of people, we use that. I've helped a lot of people transition off of coffee with that. There is still a little bit of caffeine via yerba mate, but it's very minimal. So that is really good because what it's doing is it's actually providing more oxygen to the cells. And one of the reasons that our body wants caffeine is because we have low oxygen levels. And so that's when we get tired. And then the other thing with coffee is it really puts a burden on the adrenals, and they kind of get in that fight or flight. And that's when we feel like those burnout energy. So the Can't Beat This actually has cordyceps mushrooms in it that help your adrenals really start to replenish themselves. So I would encourage the Can't Beat This, and, start taking it in the morning. You can even add it into your morning shake. And she can follow the recommended amount, or some days she might feel a little bit more, but that's personally what I use as a mom, and I don't drink coffee either. And it keeps my energy sustained while I'm with the kids and transitioning off for people who transition off coffee.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Kathy, I see you have your hand up.
Hi there.
Hi.
I'll come on.
Yeah,
All right. So I started in November just taking the products to prevent myself from eating the wrong foods over the holidays. And now I've been doing the 90-day summer thing. And I am so tired, and I'm gaining weight, and I'm not wanting either one of those. Do you have any recommendation? And I'm also hungry.
Yeah. So how far in on the 90-day are you?
When did we start on that? I think it was maybe it's been 30 days now, probably.
So it's not uncommon for there to be kind of ups and downs in this journey, because I like to look at our body's like an onion. A lot of times that first 30 days, we're like detoxing that first layer of the onion, and that's usually kind of the thickest layer. And then we start getting into that second layer and that third layer and that fourth layer as we continue on the journey. And sometimes that does your body, when you're detoxing, it actually is using a lot of energy. And sometimes your organs are kind of working double time depending on what you've got going on in there. And so my number one recommendation is, if you're tired, your body's telling you that to rest. So, really listen to it and try to rest if you can. Because especially during the parasite cleansing portion, like our body's really working hard to eliminate some things. And so other things that can help with the energy is Epsom salts baths. And then, I like to drink some like warm ginger tea throughout the day because that kind of can revitalize the energy a little bit. Like I said, the Can't Beat This. Have you tried that one yet?
Yes, I'm using that. Mhm.
Okay, great.
Because I've been a coffee drinker and sometimes I do throw some coffee in my container because I'm so tired and I need to get things done.
Yeah, so I would focus on the adrenal health because to me it sounds like you're going to that next layer of the onion, and so that's where the tiredness might be coming from. So I don't know if you've checked out our Be Energetic yet. But
Yes,
yeah, are you on that?
sometimes.
So try to get more
do
consistent
too.
with that one because that also really helps with the adrenals. And then in terms of being hungry, I would what's your diet looking like? Are you eating 2 meals a day with the superfoods, or how are you?
2 shakes a day, and I do fruit all morning.
Mhm.
And then I try to have, sometimes I go into the afternoon, and then I also do salads, raw veggies, and then another super drink. So 2 of those. Sometimes I do 3 of those a day. And I have to admit, sometimes I throw in a protein bar because I'm so hungry. I don't know what to eat.
Yeah.
The veggies just don't satisfy.
Yeah, so I would encourage you to try to just kind of get ahead of the hunger a little bit. Like one thing that I always keep on hand is the aminos too. Because sometimes like when I wake up in the morning, I feel really hungry and then I'll do the aminos and that kind of curbs my appetite for a little while. But I would also encourage you again to listen to your body of like, make this an intuitive process. It sounds like you're kind of in it for the longer game. 90 days is a good amount of time and you don't want to be hungry that whole 90 days. So
No.
yeah, you might want to eat more like of a heartier meal in the evening potentially. I don't know if are you trying to do all raw personally or?
Well, no, that doesn't work for me.
Okay. So yeah,
Um,
maybe doing like some quinoa or sweet potato in the evening, adding in those things. And then having things on hand. So sometimes I've noticed with this lifestyle, it's easier for me to eat little bits frequently rather than just like my shake and then I don't eat and then a shake. Like I kind of just am like a snacking mentality. And a lot of times that can actually keep your body from gaining weight too, because the 2-hour cycle of eating keeps your hormones more balanced. So I would think about having more snacks on hand. And I usually like to start with fruit and then go from there. You have any?
well, I do the cucumbers and the apples and peppers or whatever, carrots raw. I do those. Even yesterday I was eating a zucchini raw. So, and salads.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
And
know.
one thing you can do with the salads is maybe making like a little heartier salad dressing. Like I often like to make like a tahini salad dressing or an avocado salad dressing. So that
Okay.
you're getting a little, or sometimes I'll blend up some Kalamata olives in there. Hemp seeds are another really great thing that have a good amount of protein. So you can get creative while still eating raw, but like adding those into the salad dressing. So you're getting a little more calories that way. And you're getting a little bit more fed that way.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks, Kathy. Let's see, Gage, I see you have your hand up.
Yes. So I'm doing the 90-day ULT challenge with collagen. And I was just wondering, when people complete the 90 days, is it typical for them to more or less specify which products that they want? Or do some people repeat the ULTs because they're a lot of product and they're really good? Or is it just person to person?
It depends on your goals as well. Like I've been with Purium for 4.5 years now, and I kind of like live off of a ULT. I don't do the parasite cleanse all the time, but I'm like more or less 2 shakes a day, doing my biomedic, I'm like the routine is in part of my daily life. So a lot of people like Michelle too, who was just saying she's been doing this for 40 months. She kind of also lives off of ULT and then does whatever snacks and meals in addition. So you can take that approach, and or like our core 4 is a way that a lot of people like to maintain. So maybe they don't want to do the twice a day every day, but they're just at least doing once a day of the core nutrients. And then also, yes, after a 90-day period is when you can kind of specialize. So, your first 90 days, like I said, is kind of peeling that first layer or two of the onion, and then you might realize like, wow, I feel like I need to work on my adrenal more. And so we go into some more of the adrenal products, or, you know, X, Y, and Z, whatever your focus is. And that's where the person who brought you in can support you kind of refine if you're looking for that.
Sure. Thank you.
Yep. And if you haven't checked out our head to toe products yet, they're really great too. You can find those in the lifestyle guide. And that's kind of a cool product guide of different products that specify different parts of the body, you know, so.
Okay. Head and toe. Is that, where was that you said?
It's called the head to toe guide.
Mhm.
You can find it on the Purium blog. If you just Google Purium blog and type in head to toe, you can find it. And you can also find it in the lifestyle guide.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right, iPhone. I see you have your hand raised. Yeah.
Yes, I'm asking for someone else that I'm working with. She's going into her last 30 days of the 90, and she had been doing the regular ULTs, but now in the third month she's doing the grain-free with the biofruit and the green spectrum and all of that. And I am not familiar with the schedule for that. Is there a schedule out there and just a recommended way to eat? Since they're not getting the shakes. And it also didn't have the biomedic. And I don't know that she realized that it didn't have the biomedic in it, and it had the super cleanser. So she's kind of wondering what to do about that.
Yeah. Are you part of our Mighty Network support app, like the Regenerative Health app?
Yeah, I haven't looked at it much, but I do have it.
Okay, so if you go in there and you go into the topic section, there's one that says schedules, and then you can go in there and you can find our grain-free pack schedule. But more or less, it's the same idea of 2 shakes a day, but you're kind of just mixing the biofruit and the aloe digest and this green spectrum all in one, the carrot juice powder, and that's like considered your 1 shake for the day. And then you do that again. So it's like making up a power shake without the sprouted grains in it and stuff with those. So that's kind of how you handle it. And then it's okay to take is she like celiac or anything?
She has rheumatoid arthritis, I believe, and some mold toxicity. So she was also doing the zeolites along with it.
Okay.
And she's had some joint pain.
Yeah, so she's doing the zeolites. It's totally cool to take like a month break on the biomedic and just focus on the zeolites for now, you know, and then she can always reintegrate the biomedic again. But I would just suggest kind of following the same type of meal schedule that she was in the previous, but just integrating it into the grain-free and then just mixing all those things together twice a day to make those 2 shakes. And then check out the schedule on the app. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Okay.
does. And I had a question about circulation. I've noticed that like in the last week or so, but this does happen on and off, that my feet will just get to where they're tingling quite a bit, and even like my lower calf. And I do have anemia, although I haven't checked it in a while. And I did have some adrenal issues. So I don't know if that's just a circulation issue that I just have to figure out how to get that up. I started Be Energetic. I don't really notice much with it yet. So yeah, I was just wondering what I could do for that.
Yeah, the adrenals especially are one that we have to be consistent with, because a lot of us, most people have been in adrenal fatigue for quite some time just because of the lifestyle we live here. So it is something that takes consistency. But again, you might just be kind of peeling back another layer of the onion. Sometimes when we're in this, all of a sudden something becomes revealed to us that was kind of stuck or stagnant. So with the tingling, there can be 2 things. One, it can be a good thing that your body's starting to kind of rekindle the connections down there. So that could be one. And then another piece is, yeah, it could be endocrine system, kind of adrenal fatigue stuff. So berries are really, really, really good for the nervous system. So the more fresh berries you can get in, if you want to add in the biofruit too, and do that a couple times a day, that really helps with nerve connections. And then also staying consistent with the biomedic and decreasing the inflammation. Jenny, sorry, the name of the app is the Regenerative Health app on Mighty Networks. So I would try that. I would be consistent with the Be Energetic, and I would add in the biofruit and more fresh berries, and kind of see what that does for you for a little while.
And the biomedic, because I had kind of stopped the biomedic, but as I was hearing the call, I was thinking, I need to get some more biomedic.
Yeah, I would incorporate that back in as well for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Above and beyond the chocolate shake.
Yeah, I would personally.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Michelle.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I just want to say, like, remembering like my first 90 days, that there's a lot of ups and downs. Like my body was definitely exhausted, and it's the first time I was tapping into my body. And so I was really learning to understand, like, my body was tired. Like there's nothing wrong. I just needed to go rest and get out of the way so that my body could do this deep regenerative work. And, my eliminations were messy at first, and sometimes I had more energy, and sometimes, it just was kind of this up and down. I feel like the first 90 days, if you can stay consistent, you really get over this hump. And then the cravings and the hunger feeling goes away, because it's really the parasites and the opportunistic bacteria that is starving, and it's not really us that's hungry. Like I feel like looking back now, I can honestly say that. And that then there came a point where I would put something in my mouth. I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted at all. And now I find myself, I'm like, did I eat today besides fruit? Like some days go like that. And I just remember talking to you and Rita about it and learning that, yeah, my cells are nourished and hydrated. So it's like, yeah, I'm doing fine. Like, there's 11 superfood salads and one power shake. I'm doing way more than that in a day. So I'm getting the daily nutritional value above and beyond. So anyways, just, to keep that in mind, you guys, and that the first 90 days are just a little wonky. If you can just not go right to the, hey, what's wrong, but go to like, just what if I'm detoxing? What if this is part of regenerating my health? And then the next question would be like, what can I do to help keep myself as comfortable as possible right now? Maybe it's a bath, maybe it's a nap, maybe it's a walk, maybe it's just, listening to some music, but that was really helpful. So I'm in my 50s. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm reversing my age. So you have that to look forward to. And as the inflammation went down, especially in my gut, I had a severe toxic trauma and bloating. And now I'm finding that I'm having like the skin, a little bit of the saggy skin, like the inflammation in my body is so gone that like my skin is now sagging a little bit. I'm like, okay, I feel like working out will help me build the muscle and like tighten the skin. I'm doing the ULT collagen, I'm doing extra aminos. Is there anything else that you would recommend? Like, is it kind of a phase? Because it's kind of happened suddenly, and I don't know if it's part of the regeneration process.
I noticed that in my own journey. I can't speak for everyone, but I did have a period because I had lost quite a bit of weight once my body hit homeostasis, and I noticed a little bit of the sagging, and then I just stuck with the fruit and, like you said, the collagen and the herbs, and that went away. So I do feel like it can be a phase where, again, the body's just going to shed some of that, like your skin's going to shed layers. So I would just stick with exactly what you're doing. And like you said, maybe increase the exercise. Like it might be your body telling you it's time to build some more muscle in that way. So I think you're on the right track, and it's a phase, like you were saying. So
Great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks.
Lisa.
Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, ladies. Thanks for the great conversation and the great tips, and Michelle being such a light to us today, especially. I appreciate hearing from you and all the others who've asked questions. I had a thought to share with a friend of mine, Mary Beth. I was wondering if you can help me think this through for a moment. Is there any of the power greens, especially the ones that are on sale right now, that might be a benefit to somebody who is looking to increase their iron? We have a friend with a little boy who's actually he's fed through a stomach tube primarily and receives all of his nutrition through artificial like TPN and stuff like that. Since he was born, at birth, he had a defect in his intestines and them needing to be put together properly by artificial means. So I was just curious. He's low in iron, and I just wanted to throw some ideas at her that maybe could still benefit their family, and what you might have to offer and share
Yeah, so I would go for either the Kamut blend that's on sale or the Craxel Chlorella, maybe a combination of both. I can speak for myself going through 3 plant-based pregnancies and having low iron when I was little. It was always like a concern, but I did the Craxel Chlorella and it kept my iron levels so perfect. The thing with Craxel Chlorella though is if you do too much of it or a lot of it, it can be detoxifying as well. So you want to kind of like balance that. And that's why I say maybe do a combination of the Kamut blend and the Craxel. But the other thing that is really essential for building iron in the body and your body's ability to absorb it is ample vitamin C. So your body needs really high quality vitamin C to be able to absorb iron. So in addition to that, you would want him on like the C from Nature and the Apothecary, because those are really high in vitamin C, or even the Biofruit. So that iron is actually being absorbed in the body and his body's able to maintain those levels. So I would probably do a combination of like the Kamut blend with like a spoonful of Kamut blend, a spoonful of Craxel Chlorella, and a spoonful of Biofruit, or, you know, open up some C from Nature and put it in there and do that a few times a day. And again, it's going to be a little bit of consistency, but those are major blood builders.
Is there, if you had to pick one over the other, which would you choose for the greens?
The Craxel Chlorella. I
Okay.
would, and how old is he?
He's 9 right now.
So I'd probably start him with like 5 tabs a day for the first week and see how that goes. And then, or a spoonful a day, depending on if you're getting the tabs or the powder.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. All right, we probably have time for one more question because I believe that this link is being used. So Sandy, do you have one more?
Yes. So I have another friend who's also doing the 90-day ULT, and she just finished. I'm gonna say she's going on to her 2nd month, and she's starting to crave like salty foods, which the first month it was fine, and then now it's like, why is she craving salty food? So I just wanted to ask, like, what, like in my head, I was just like, okay, there's something that she's being deficient of, or there's like parasites happening too. So, what would be your recommendation, or what could be a possible link to her craving salty foods?
Yeah, so in general, when we crave salty foods, it's actually our body telling us that we need more minerals. And when we crave sweets, it's generally our body saying we need more vitamins. So when you're craving salt, I always go for the greens and the dark veggies. And then when you're craving salts or sweets, I go for the fruits. So in this case, if she's on her second 30 days, sometimes when that first 30 days, when we're detoxifying, some of our minerals go with that and are eliminated. And so again, I would encourage her, like, this is a time maybe to start. We go through phases where you're like detoxing and rebuilding, detox and rebuilding. So maybe she wants to do an additional power shake each day. And then I would also encourage the ionic minerals, because that has like 80 plus minerals in it. And sometimes, again, a lot of mineral absorption is dependent on the other nutrients that are in our body. Like, for instance, iron is absorbed when we have vitamin C. So I would increase the ionic elements and then probably do another power shake a day, and then see in her diet where she can become more diversified as well, to make sure that she's getting like a really good balance of the minerals and the vitamins from her diet as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for taking your time, and we're here every Wednesday. We're also, if you're doing the Beauty Within transformation with us, we're also starting another support and accountability call on Thursdays at 4 o'clock Mountain Standard. So keep that in mind too. But otherwise, we're here every Wednesday, and appreciate you all showing up and being on this journey. And I know it takes a lot of courage and discipline, and sometimes a changing of perspective and open-mindedness to be on this type of journey and make this change in your life. So thanks for doing that together. And yeah, I wish you all the best, and thanks for being here.
Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Mary Beth.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.